Hello, welcome to Card Talk. I'm Brobnar89.
I'm Shotgun.
Today we will be looking at an artifact called Widespread Corruption. This is a rare. It has 1 amber pip on it. It is a power, and it reads, after a player gains amber by reaping, a creature they do not control captures that amber. Definitely a massive game warping type artifact. If you do not have artifact removal, you're going to be confronted with this. You're going to have to figure out how to address it. This reminds me a bit of Surmaros, who's the 2 armor, 4 power Sanctum creature we first saw in AOA that captures all amber that your opponent makes by reaping. The difference here is that it's going to be harder for your opponent to deal with it because artifacts are generally more difficult to remove than a single creature, even a beefy one like Surmaros. And then also, this is global, so it's affecting you as well. It's going to make it a lot harder for your opponent to burst out and play down a key cheat. If that's their game plan, they're going to struggle. Being the active player when they reap, they are going to get to choose which of your creatures that amber goes on to, and you do need to have creatures on the board in order for this to work. So there's some ability for them to manage the situation, but it's just going to be an impediment for them to figure out how to play around this.
I think this card makes the board a lot more important in the game. Instead of amber that you get from reaping going to your pool, it goes onto your opponent's creatures. Well, how do you get it back? You have to destroy their creatures, and if all their creatures are gone, you can reap and just get the amber while they have to address your board to get their amber. So if your deck is advantaged on controlling the board, this is a pretty great card to play because it's going to be more of a problem for your opponent to get their amber back than it will be for you to get your amber. If your deck does not have much creature control, this card can hurt you. So there's some artifacts that you just need to pitch because they have a dual-sided effect and it doesn't work for your game plan. Like Quixelstone, for example, if you rely a lot on having a wide board and playing many creatures. But here, this is pretty significant amber control. I think rush decks that don't have much creature control really aren't going to like playing against a widespread corruption because it'll slow them down and force them to deal with the board. And if I'm advantage in my board control, maybe I'm a little bit slowed down as well, but I'll eventually get the amber back.
Right. There's no outright board wipe in Shadows in this set, so that does make it a little bit more difficult for this to be really advantageous for you. There are some damaging cards like Booby Trap is back and Sack of Coins is back. So you could do a bunch of reaping, load up an opponent's creature with a bunch of amber, and then target removal them. But there will definitely be decks and or matchups where this is going to be a pitch.
Right. And I wonder if you can explore some more advanced strategies to prevent your opponent from taking advantage of the fact that the active player can place the amber. For example, if I have a deck with those big creatures in Saurian, I can play Widespread Corruption and then pitch my little Shadows guys that would die easily. And now you have to get your amber off of Undagnathus or these other creatures that are pretty painful to kill and don't really have good effects, while I continue my game plan, maybe playing a lot of pips and getting amber in other ways.
Ooh, yeah, that's a really good point. There could definitely be some strategic discards you could put together here. Also, if you only have like a Bren the Fanatic on the board, you could be happy to have your opponent load him up with amber, make it difficult for them to get that amber back. This set also has Mole in it. So you could load up one of your opponent's creatures with a bunch of amber, put Mole onto it, and then you get the full advantage of being able to still use all that amber that you have reaped for, and your opponent is still going to have to deal with your board to access their amber. All right, that's been our look at Widespread Corruption. Check back tomorrow for a look at another card.